What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. Or I should say, just, we're stock trading live this morning, but man, we have the SPY ripping up in pre-market, getting really close to those all-time highs. Once again, we might have another breakout today, and Tesla is up again in pre-market, moving all the way up to 678, and it's looking like we might have another one of those nice days out of the QQQ and
What's
out of the
going on, guys,
sector,
and
out
welcome
of the
back
tech
to the
sector. It looks
Stocks
like a
with
very
Mike and
nice
Tom
setup
show. I should say,
as of
just,
right
you know,
now.
we're stock
And man,
trading live
Tesla's
this
really
morning,
ripping
but
up here
man,
on the
we have the
daily, and
SPY
I think we
ripping
can
up
just
in
continue on
pre-market,
for like the
getting
next
really
couple days
close to those
possibly.
all-time highs.
Good
Once
stuff.
again,
So
we
we
might
have
have
tech
another
stocks
breakout
roaring
today,
to their
and
all-time
Tesla
highs.
is
The
up again
QQQ is
in
actually breaking
pre-market,
their all-time
moving.
highs. The SPY is getting close. Like you said, Tom, Tesla is one of the leaders. We also have a lot of movement from Palantir this morning. And I know that we had Actor talking about Netflix too. And, we can't forget about this one. I know that the pre-market movement was a little bit choppy, but it's definitely breaking out. And it's one of those stocks that's also a pretty big runner. The IV is still low, so the options are going to be a little cheap on that one, but that's a good sign. But overall, we have a lot of things happening in the market right now. Thank you so much, Hunter, Keisha, Actor, David, Russ, Vicky. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream and commenting in. But don't forget to let us know what stocks you're watching. With the first comment, we have Hunter talking about LLY, Tom. He said that it's gapping up. LLY looks, wow, this is a pretty big gap up, actually, 9%.
Yeah, I wonder what the catalyst is here with LLY, but that's a very big move actually to the upside. It's actually hitting an all-time high right now, so hopefully we can keep getting that movement to the upside. I think that we might be able to hit like 240 or something like that, but man, this is some crazy movement. I'm definitely gonna have to look into the catalyst behind this one, but that's an absolute ripper. And man, that's just, there's so much momentum behind this one. There is the pre-market high at 237.50, so if you wanted a level to look for today, I think that can be a good resistance, and I think there's a decent support down here around 232.
Alrighty, so I'm looking at the news, and it appears that LLY got an upgrade. Their price target was raised, but they're also spiking on Alzheimer's drug regulatory filing plan. So it looks like they just had some positive like regulatory news. That's what it seems like, and it's definitely popping up. And it makes sense for the type of company that they are. I'm just trying to see what else is moving right now. It looks like we have a lot of upwards movement from Penn, Tom, PENN. It's up around 3% today. One of the top stocks on my watch list so far. Tesla's gapping up over 2% today. It's pulling back just a tiny bit at open, but the market's been open for like a minute. So DraftKings is looking pretty good. Don't forget about this one. It's breaking out right now, right above that $51 resistance. UPWK. We have Square running up too. That one looks pretty good. AMD. Wow, Tom, look at AMD.
Yeah, AMD is starting to run this morning, and man, I saw it starting to break out. It looks so good above that 84.50 resistance, and we just see a nice run now up to this 85 level. And some days AMD just likes to go parabolic, so we'll have to see how this can continue to move early on this morning here.
For sure. So let's see. We have, how's Disney doing? Disney's looking good. It's not really moving too much. It's a slow and steady stock. Like literally everything on my watch list is green today. Microsoft, Palantir up around, you could say like 0.8%. Zoom's looking good. NIO. Awesome. Well, it looks like we're set for a good day so far. Tom, do we have any I'm trying to think of any resistance levels like with the QQQ? Obviously, there's nothing because we're breaking all-time highs right now. But how about the SPY? Do we have any major levels to watch out for?
Yeah, I mean, the QQQ is looking pretty good. I love that breakout above 350. It's moving right above that right now. Going over to the SPY, it's breaking out now above 425 as well, hitting those highs. Let's go check it out. Not all-time highs yet. The all-time high is at 426.21, but there was a bit of resistance there right at 425. We are moving above that right now, so it looks like we're just seeing a solid breakout out of the QQQ and the SPY, which is very nice to see, especially with the SPY, because it was like lagging behind the overall market quite a bit. So it's nice to see the SPY popping up over the past couple days. But man, overall, it's just it like you said, it's setting up to be such a good morning with all these stocks starting to pop up, and it just seems like that whenever we're moving forward here, like we need to hold up that momentum. It seems like the SPY's really starting to break out along with the QQQ, and I love all these growth stocks like Palantir and a lot of those other ones. And it seems like Palantir is actually pulling back here at open pretty hard, but man, they had a great pre-market. We have Zoom kind of also doing pretty good today as well, but same story. It seems like here over the past like 2 minutes, some of these stocks have started to go very slightly to the downside. So we'll just have to see if this momentum can kind of keep up.
All righty. And then we have Mike S saying everything is gapping and Baba is trying to go. I was just looking at that one. So right now it's up around 0.5%. We all know how choppy Baba is. It's pulling back a little bit at open, but they had an awesome gap up so far. They have a little bit of support right around, you could say 216, but it's kind of a weak support, to be honest. A stronger support is at 215, but I think it definitely looks pretty good. And in my opinion, it's way overdue for a pop back up.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's just been beaten down so bad. And I like how it double bottomed down here around like the 209 to 210 support. I think that that's a pretty solid setup. And as long as we can start to like break out above this trend line and stuff, I think that we'll start to see some pretty good recovery. And I think that we will. Bob is a decent company and they're definitely not going anywhere in the shorter term. They might go down very slightly, but they're not going to crash and burn or anything.
All righty. So AMD is looking pretty solid. Then we have Russ saying GTT and AMC. Let's check it out. GTT, they're popping up a good amount, up around 16%. This isn't really our ideal setup. But stocks like this, they are known to be very volatile, which can be good for day trades. And they're popping up right now. Intraday, it looks like they're trying to test that 280 support. So if it holds that might be decent, but it's not my favorite setup, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, that doesn't make it bad at all, but just like Mike said, it's just not our favorite type of stock. So whenever we're looking like GTT, it's just a little bit low in price and it's very volatile. So we're going to see like big moves with it, but at the same time, we might see big moves to the downside. So we'll just have to see like how this ends up moving out. But I would say personally, you might have better opportunities somewhere else, but who knows, if this stock explodes, you could make a lot of return on it. But just keep in mind, it's going to be a super high risk, high reward play.
All right, and then we can't forget about AMC too. AMC is it's still holding that $58 level. It's not really like tanking or popping. It's just like in this consolidation phase. The volume's coming down a little bit on it, which isn't the best sign, but it's not horrible either. The next major resistance I see for it is like that $60 area, and hopefully it pops up. It's just like stuck in this consolidation phase.
Yeah, I think so too. Hang on, I'm just updating a position really quick.
No problem at all. No problem at all. So yeah, I mean, it's just stuck in that consolidation phase. If it can get some more volume and, we all know how AMC runs off a hype. I mean, it still has potential. It's just kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of like, it's just stuck right now.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, man, like AMC is getting really close to that resistance. It's been trying to pop above there. It's just like you said, it's just been kind of stuck in the mud here. And, we're sitting right around this 58 level, which it's been holding nice off of there for the past few days. So whenever we're looking at this going forward, I think that we just need to like just wait for a solid breakout because it might not come. I hope it does, but it looks like on the daily, at least we have some green candles going right now. So we might start to see some continued momentum, but I think just wait for a breakout. Honestly, wait for one above 60, but if you want to be even safer, I'd wait for one above 65, but I know it might be pretty hard to wait for one above 65. So it seems like 60 is going to be the one to look at in the short term.
All right, we can't forget about Square, Tom. This thing is actually really running a ton of volume at open. It's up around 3%. It's breaking out right now. Even if we look at like in like a daily chart, like it still has a lot of room to pop back up. Tech stocks are flying. Definitely keep your eyes on this one. It has a lot of potential, and at the same time, also keep an eye on DraftKings.
Yeah, definitely. Square looks fantastic today, Mike. I don't know how this looks so good on the max daily chart here. It's starting to really fly up. And man, I love the setup on Square and some of these other stocks that are just continuing to break out. I know yesterday PayPal was looking pretty good at the end of the day, and they're kind of breaking out. They're kind of in that same sector, and on the daily, PayPal looks really strong also. And man, I love those two stocks, Square and PayPal, and I don't know what it is about those types of like money system stocks like that, but it seems like they've always done pretty well, and it seems like they've been just straight ripping up over the past like month or two. And I don't know why that is, if more people are like doing payments with PayPal and stuff like that, or what's going on, but overall there's been some pretty good moves out of them in Square.
Absolutely. And then I know we talked about this one a little while ago, but Z, I think this one still has potential to pop up. And the options aren't super liquid, but they're good enough for like a swing trade. But like I think like this one also has a good amount of potential to pop back up, at least at least until like 125. I think it's overdue to pop back up, and it's also breaking out of a consolidation channel right between, you can say, like 108 and then 120. So this one definitely has potential in my opinion. I know it's still like in the early stages. Like I know, when we look at stocks like Square, like it's been uptrending for at least a month now, where Z is just kind of like in that beginning stage. So the one thing I don't like about it is that the options aren't like crazy liquid. They're not like illiquid. They're not the best. And then so an easy way to fix that though is just trading shares.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense with the shares. And Z does look like pretty good stock for a recovery back up. So I think it looks like a great play. And if you want to grab shares, it has a solid support down there around like 110. I think getting shares anywhere under like 125 could be a good time to grab them, especially with the high all the way up there around 208. And I would think like in the shorter term, we could like retest like 140 pretty safely on Z.
All righty. And then we have Justin saying, good morning, guys. Thanks for the shout out in last night's video. Well, thank you, Justin, for, showing up to these streams and just being a great guy. So thank you so much, Justin. And then we have Sean saying, morning, Mike and Tom. Looks like NVIDIA made new highs again. I was wrong about this one, Tom. So yeah, they're a powerhouse. And then he also said, also, could you give Netflix a look as well? Absolutely. So hold on. I have to check out NVIDIA first. Yeah, they are popping.
Yeah, they're on fire, man. NVIDIA has just been killing it.
Wow. I mean, yeah, they are a powerhouse. And I know a lot of people are just holding shares in this one and calls and all that good stuff. So I'm very happy for everyone who's holding that. That's awesome. So yeah, I believe Muscle is actually holding a lot of shares in this one, Muscle Cars. So that's awesome. Then let's check out Netflix. It's looking pretty good. Like intraday, it's just like consolidating a little bit right now. It is already up over 1% on the day, which is it's a good amount, but it's nothing crazy, obviously. They are just kind of bouncing off this support at like you could say like between 515 and 517.50. While the QQQ is rallying to the upside, I think it looks good for like a couple day like swing trade. So yeah, I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of it for a day trade right now, unless I could break out and get some more volume. But I think it does have a lot of potential for like a short-term swing.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's what I would look at it for, is more of like a shorter term swing with Netflix. And I think it looks like it could be pretty good. And I would just look at it like you said, there is some resistance coming up and stuff like that. And we're like right in the middle of the range. So I think it could go either way. But as long as tech stays up, I think we could see a pretty decent move.
All righty. And then with the next comment, we have, let's see, Matthew saying Tesla. Let's check it out. TSLA, it is consolidating right now. It had not a huge run up, but it had a respectable run up this morning in pre-market. It's just bouncing between like support and resistance right now. It's not really breaking out. The major level I'm watching is like 678 for that breakout level. And support is right around, you could say like 665 or so. They have a lot of momentum in general right now. And I think they will continue up over the next couple days, but we just have to break out above that resistance right around 678.
Yeah, for sure. It's right around that 678 resistance. That's good. That looks like it's a very solid level so far this morning. And I like how it popped up like 5 minutes ago and tried to break out above it again and got rejected there once again, which shows that level is going to be pretty strong. And just look out. I might not be able to break out above that today. They've been flying up for the past few days. So if they start to consolidate, I would not be surprised. But man, I think we might see even more momentum here in the next few minutes, especially once we start to break out above 678. I think we're going to see a pretty decent move, possibly up to somewhere around like 700 level or somewhere pretty close. I think if we can start to, really start to get out above this, we are like right on a trend line and on the SMA on my daily chart. So I don't know if that'll pose as some resistance, but it seems like as of right now, Tesla's having some trouble just kind of getting out here above this level.
What do you think of PayPal? They look pretty good intraday. They're breaking out. They're up just under 2%. And, with the way tech stocks are moving, it's hard to ignore some of these tech stocks that are rallying back up to their all-time highs.
Yeah, it is. I mean, man, it's nonstop. It seems like with some of these ones like Square, PayPal, Zoom, and some of these other ones that just keep flying back to the upside. And man, PayPal is just killing it lately. I think that it's getting close to that resistance around 300 a share, but we're still like $8 away. I think that there's definitely a lot of potential here. And looking at it on like a 5-minute chart, it's just starting to really break out. And we're breaking out so far above like all of our recent levels. So it's just starting to have a pretty big like momentum effect to it, to where it just keeps breaking out. And I love how it's getting above that 290 resistance there today, and it's just running all the way up to like 292 right now as I'm talking. And you're right, Mike, it's a powerhouse today for some reason. And I don't know what the main reasoning is as of like why like PayPal and Square are like going up so much, but it's definitely a good thing to see that sector running.
Absolutely. And then let's see. With the next, okay, we have a ton of comments here. We also have Matthew asking about the NASDAQ. So it's just breaking out, has a ton of momentum right now. There's no major resistance on it. We have actors saying, check out Wish, guys. Your thoughts. WISH. It is not looking the best so far today. It looks okay for like a dip buy, but it's definitely not my favorite setup. I like Zoom is my favorite setup right now for like a decent term hold, like medium term hold, you can say. What do you think about Wish?
Yeah, Wish I think is pretty good. I'm just a little scared of it because of all the stuff that's been going on with it lately. It was honestly looking like a pretty good setup over the past couple days until we started to see these green candles on the chart. It kind of seemed like it was going to like maybe break out there, but it ended up kind of now turning off to the downside. Personally, I don't like it. I think it looks like we might start to move back down, but that's just my opinion. There is a good support here right around $13. It's hit off of that around 3 times the past couple days. So just be a little wary of that. We might bounce off of there, but to me it just looks very bearish. Started to move below the 100 SMA also, and just Wish is just one of those hype stocks that goes up and down a ton. And whenever that hype kind of leaves and it starts to go down, sometimes it has these big sell-offs, and I'm scared we're going to see that again.
Oh, yeah. And then Keisha said Fassler or FSLR got a nice pop. So FSLR is up around 8% today. This one looks really, really solid, Tom. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm trying to see if there's any other. I mean, there's the resistance right around $90 or so. IV's popping up. It's just looking really good. I'm looking at the news right now. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I know that, sometimes these solar stocks can be pretty volatile, but Tom, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it looks really good. I've liked it for a little bit of a hold over like the past few months, and I'm so glad to see it starting to pop back up here. Looks really nice to me. Man, I like the move here. Honestly, like you said, there's that resistance up there around 90. We're getting a little close, but still, I think that there's a lot of movement that can go with FSLR. And why don't we go check out some of the other ones? We have RUN kind of going down today. We have like BLNK, kind of like a solar stock, kind of red today as well. At least red on the chart, not red. They're up 0.64%, but they are kind of moving down as of right now, having a little bit of a pullback. So it seems like the FSLR is kind of, beating a lot of the other stocks in the sector too, which is great.
Here we go. And then let's see. We have Kumar saying NIO. Let's check it out. NIO is looking really good. It's up around 2.5%. It's rallying towards its high of day right now. looked pretty good. I really like it for the long term. For the short term, watch out for that resistance right at 47. This has acted as a previous resistance level and also a previous support level many times in the past. So that level should be pretty strong. Definitely keep an eye on it. Corbin said, morning, guys. I'm looking at Palantir and OSTK. Any levels? So let's check it out for you. He said Palantir and OSTK. Palantir is just kind of it's struggling right now. I really like this company for the long term. I see a pretty big resistance at 26.72 and then another support at 26.20. What are you seeing, Tom?
Yeah, I see right around that 26.72 level, like you said. That's going to pose as definitely one in the short term. Somewhere like right around 27.50 is going to be one right after that. So we are moving up into those resistance levels, but at some point we should start to see some decent moves out of Palantir. I think that we'll get to that 27.50 resistance eventually. Today, though, it seems like Palantir on an intraday level definitely has that like 26.72 level, like you pointed out. And then as a good support, I would look at, let's see, the top of yesterday, right around 26.30.
Sounds good. We have Square rallying, WFC rallying, Tesla rallying. Tesla, here goes Tesla. Let me pull it up. Tom. you know this setup. It's breaking out right now. Increased volume. It's getting really close to that like 680 resistance, and it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, let's go. It's finally going. I like it. It has a good confirmation off of that 670 support as well. Came right down and open, kind of touched that support, touched some of these SMAs, started flying right back up. It just has one of those solid setups that it seems like that some of these tech stocks, they always like to sell off at open for like 5 minutes and then start flying up. And I don't know what the reasoning is there. Maybe some institutions trading that down at open, or I don't know what's going on, but it's always nice to see that kind of recovery back up. Hopefully we can start to break out here above 680. We are seeing a solid red candle, of course, right after this nice movement here. I thought we'd finally break out, but hopefully we can see a breakout here above 680. I think that we will eventually at some point today, if not over the next few minutes, maybe later on around lunchtime or something like that. But I think Tesla looks very hot today, and it can definitely continue off of that movement that we saw yesterday. On the daily chart, though, we are getting close to some resistance. We're on those SMAs as well, so I think that we could go down. It's just I have a good feeling that all this momentum is going to push it right through that 680 resistance at some point.
All right, and then we can't forget about OSTK for Corbin. So OSTK, I like the setup for like maybe like a couple month hold. It's not bad for a day trade right now. It's not my favorite either. Like I think Tesla has like more potential. OSTK IV is still relatively low, so you can get some good quality leaps for relatively cheap. Resistance is at like here, let me see. Resistance is right at 95, and then support right at you say like 8, like you say like 84 or so. Do you see anything I'm missing, Tom, on this one?
Yeah, I mean right around like 90 on OSTK, right?
Yeah, so OSTK.
Yeah, I think right around like 93.40 is going to look at like a good level for the next couple days. We hit right around there today, and we're having some trouble kind of breaking out. On the 1 year daily, though, it's honestly been riding this trend to the upside, and it's looked very strong, and I would think it can definitely continue. Like I said, possibly up to that other upper resistance of today around 93.40. And then after that, I see the next one being right around like 95.30, somewhere kind of close to that. So I think that would be the next upper resistance. But overall, this looks like a fantastic setup. I really like it. And if you were going to swing this for a couple of days, I think it's definitely a good setup to try and do that on. We are getting close to that resistance. Like I said, around 95, I would probably make that your target. If I was going to, try to trade this, I would try to target that upper resistance or something like that.
All righty, and then let's see. We have Mike saying Disney is up today. Mike, can you explain? All right, so we can't fully uncover the swing, but we will talk more about it in Discord. Vicky said Tilray, Twitter, MGNI, please. So let's check it out. Tilray will be the first one. Tilray is looking pretty good, Tom. It's up 2%. And, these MJ stocks, when they run, they have a lot of potential. Like when we look back let's say we look back on like February 9th, this thing had a huge up day. So like these MJ stocks, sometimes it can be tricky because they try and stop you out. And then, the next thing you know, they're ripping up 30%.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing is that it just has that it's crazy implied volatility. So that's going to be some huge, obviously huge moves for the stock, but huge moves for the options as well. I mean, man, that's definitely going to cause some definitely cause some crazy movement to say the least. But it'll be a high risk, high reward play at least.
You know it. And then with the next one for Vicky, we had Twitter. Tom, I know you were watching this one on the gap fill for a while, so I'll let you cover it.
Yeah, I was looking at it for a long time. It was following a lot of these key trend lines on my chart, and then it just kind of like went flat for a couple of weeks right before it started to pop here the past few days. But it's finally nice to see that fill of the gap, and we're hitting it. We're heading actually through it a little bit up to like $67. We might hit that resistance around 70, but I'm not sure that we'll be able to get there. I do see a pretty solid resistance coming up though. Let's get the exact level right around like 68.50.
All right. And then with the last one, I believe it was MGNI. Let's check it out. MGNI looks good. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good overall. The next major resistance is like right at 35, and we're just under that right now. So I like it, but that 35 level is going to be really strong.
Yeah, I think so too. And whenever we look at MGMI, the setup on the daily looks so strong, Mike. It's recovering up like a lot of these other stocks, and you're right, it looks very strong. There is a resistance coming up in the very short term, right around like 34.50-ish area, and we're getting like pretty close to that today. So just yeah, we hit actually right off of it. So just keep in mind that that could be a hard level to break through in the short term, but it does look like a great setup on the daily, and I like how it's recovering up very nicely, and it seems like it's lagging behind some of the others, and we might see a fill up to like $40 or something like that.
All right. And then we have I'm Fierce saying, I'm laughing so hard. I kept hearing the ding and was wondering what positions were filled for me and could not find them. And then noticed it was coming from the live stream. Yeah, I mean, I know that like the Thinkorswim sounds can be confusing because a lot of them, it's like the same sound. So
Sorry, I was buying
then we have
another
Laura.
I was buying another Disney.
Oh yeah, of course. Then we have Laura saying, any plays for the upcoming Russell Index shuffling? Not right now. I know Tom and I talked about this. What was it, like a week ago now, Tom, or 2 weeks ago? How we are noticing a transition out of value stocks and into tech stocks. So we've really been focusing on that. A lot of tech stocks are just kind of still beaten down right now, and I think it's pretty obvious that we are seeing smart money and just money in general flow into these beaten down tech stocks like Tesla, like Apple, like Square, Netflix, Zoom, Palantir. Like a lot of these are really starting to pop up, and that's because money is flowing into them and it's flowing out of these value stocks. You look at stocks like DIA, and it's not that they're crashing or anything. It's just like they're pulling back. And like what I really want to show is, even some of these like bigger bank stocks, like let me pull up like what was it, like JP Morgan, Tom, like a lot of bank stocks in general, Goldman Sachs, even like if we look at let's say we focus on JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. These two are in the Dow and they're pulling back a good amount. You know what I mean? Especially over like the past 2 or 3 weeks, JP Morgan went from 167.50 all the way down to 150. And that's a huge move for a bank stock, especially JP Morgan. And Goldman Sachs also had a pretty big pullback. And even if we look at value stocks in general, while we have a ton of upwards momentum in the market right now, and you look at KO and it's not really doing anything today, or it's down. So I think the best way to go right now is still tech stocks in general. A lot of them are still a good amount off their all-time highs.
Yeah, I think so too, and it seems like there's some pretty good put opportunities on some of these like value stocks as well.
For sure. Absolutely. And then we have Corbin saying, how do you like BABA to the upside? So I really like it. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to pop up tomorrow or, whatever. I like it over like the next couple weeks. I think it looks really solid. And this thing has been beaten down so much over the past couple months. And what I really like about BABA is it kind of does whatever it wants. The market can really be doing whatever it wants. And Baba just kind of moves independently. So like that's one thing I do like about Baba. You never want to be too concentrated, like all in tech, or you know what I mean. So I think Baba's pretty solid though.
Yeah, it's really solid. And Mike, guess what's running again today is AMD is continuing the breakout, moving
Wow.
above that key resistance of yesterday or a couple days ago around like 85.75, 85.77 level. We're getting a pretty big move now out of AMD. And whenever we start to look at it on the 1 year daily, like I said, it's starting to break out of those levels of a couple days ago. And who knows how much this thing can start to run since it broke that resistance.
True that. True that. It's definitely a runner, and when it just really helps that we have a lot of upwards momentum with tech stocks right now. And then we have Jay saying, check out Roku. Let's check it out. ROKU. It is up a little bit today. It was pulling back at that 420 area. So someone mentioned in the Discord about Roku puts. I don't think it's bad. Like I really don't think it's a bad setup. It's just I don't want to be playing puts on a tech stock when the QQQ is exploding. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I hate betting against something where I know there's just a ton of money flowing into. So like the setup for Roku, it's definitely not bad. It just, in my opinion, I feel like there's a lot better opportunities right now. And I think even AMD is still a better opportunity. Like even if you grab shares of that, or you know what I mean? I just feel like it's a safer opportunity and there's probably even more room for profit.
Yeah, and it's a powerhouse moving up above 86 even right now and still running up. There's definitely a lot of momentum coming into this one, and I think that's starting to show up on a lot of scanners and stuff like that. It's just had a great move so far today, and it did hit some resistance earlier on and start to get some chop, but it just powered right through that and just showed its strength and just kept pushing up through these key levels.
You know it. You know it. Let's see. With the next comment, we have Adam saying Airbnb can't seem to hold its breakout, right? I've been watching this one for so long, and every single time this thing tries to break out, it gets rejected. I don't know if some fund is trying to short this thing or what, but it's just irritating, like you watch it and it just breaks out and then it sells off. So it's pretty annoying to be honest. But hey, I still think there is potential for a breakout, but it's definitely taking its time.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely having some problems there, and hopefully it can start to go. But it kind of reminds me of Twitter, how like it just started to go flat for like a few weeks before we had like 4 solid days, and it's the market's like that sometimes. You see a lot of flat movement, and then just a few days, and if you miss those few days, you sometimes you miss those big opportunities.
Absolutely. Give me 1 second, Tom.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go check out the SPY again really fast, see how that's breaking out still. And it looks like it is starting to pull back again today. More red candles coming in. We're down back below that 425's resistance level once again. And then if we go check out that QQQ, it's kind of holding its ground though, looking pretty good. Up here around its highs of like 350.65. So definitely shows that the tech sector is still the king today for sure. And AMD is all the way up to 86.36 now, continuing its move, almost up a whole point since we started talking about it.
There we go. And then we have Russ saying, ticker symbol M. What do you think? Let's check it out. Is this Macy's? Yes, it is Macy's. It's up a little bit today. I mean, it's had a great year. It's just, honestly, I haven't been following the company too much, but from everything I've heard and, it's just, I don't want to be investing into them. Like I said, I have not been following this company too much, but I know Amazon's kind of screwing over their business, and yes, they might be adapting online, but it's not something I want to be invested in. For the short term, it can be decent for like quick day trades, but even looking at that, it looks like they don't have too many huge days. So honestly, I'm just going to stay away from it. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange mover. And going forward, these like retail stocks that, they're all trying to get into this online game now and everything. And it seems like that obviously they're just not doing the best. And I think that with Macy's, it's had such a good past couple years since, I mean, well, they got killed with COVID, but their recovery from it has been pretty decent, kind of coming back up to some decent levels. And it's just had a lot of trouble breaking out above this like 20 resistance, and then also this 1000 SMA here. It's actually hit it like 3 times and then went right down off of that. And I'd be really careful. It just doesn't seem like the best setup. If it can start to solidly break out above 20, I think we could start to see a pretty big move. But honestly, like Mike said, it's just not the stock for me. And there's just a lot of better options out there. Like, Mike brought up Amazon, but there's a lot of other companies out there as well that do online retail that, could be a little bit better of options. And, ones that pop into my mind that, are just like random is like ones like Baba and like other ones like that are really down there at those bottom support levels.
All righty. And then we have Jorge saying TRCH is trying to come back to life. Let's check it out. TRCH, it's trying, it's bouncing off support right at like $5 or so. Hopefully it bounces for everyone who is holding it. But you know how these hype stock setups are. One day they're up a ton, and then the next day they're crashing down, and just a lot of chop and consolidation. So hopefully it bounces up for everyone. Tom, do you have any like levels, any upcoming resistance levels or anything like that?
Yeah, there is an upcoming resistance, and it's also right on some of the SMAs, and it's actually right around that $6 level. I didn't realize that was such a key level there, but yeah, right around the even $6 level seems pretty good. We're at like 545 right now. I think that could pose as a level for today. If we keep breaking up, there's a really solid resistance around $8. That one is going to be the most defined level up there around 8, but that would be a pretty big move if we got all the way up to that today. But and then looking at support, there's a really good one around $5. You could say like $4.63, like the low of yesterday, somewhere like around there. But I would say somewhere like around $5 looks pretty good.
Sounds good. And then we have Raphael saying, good morning. Good morning, Raphael. Thanks for joining the stream. Kumar said, thought about UPST. Let's check it out. UPST looks pretty good. It's up around 2.5% today. It's bouncing off that 120 support. The next major resistance isn't until like 140. Well, you could say 140 for like a minor resistance, but the next major one isn't until like probably around that 150 area. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say so too. Upstart has a really good resistance there, like you said. I mean, I think that whenever we're looking at Upstart going forward, though, that level's pretty far away. We would have a pretty good move back up to there, but in the shorter term, it does look like it could definitely, get up there, and it has a pretty good support there, like at 120. So hopefully, it can go up, but. I hate to just keep re-saying the levels you gave, Mike, but that seems like the pretty key resistance here. I would say in the short term, if you can make it past above a 130, we could have a pretty good move.
All righty. And then let's see. We have Keisha saying, Tesla, here we go. Let's check it out. TSLA. Yeah, it's getting close to breaking out. It's pulling back just a tiny bit, but they're a powerhouse, and they'll probably find a way to break out. They're up almost 4% on the day. A lot of volume coming in, and I didn't even look at the flow yet. Hunter or Jerry, I don't know if you guys checked it out, but let me know if you see any notable sweeps with Tesla, because I really wouldn't be surprised if we saw some golden sweeps come in. And then Tom, while we're on the topic of Tesla and then options order flow, I would hope that Michael Burry took profits on his Tesla put position, because if he didn't, I don't know how he's looking right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would definitely be scared right now if I was Burry and I was still holding, millions of dollars Tesla short or something like that. Man, it would definitely be hard to keep holding if I knew something was going on even, like it would still be hard to hold, because you could think that anything could turn it around, especially with Tesla, the way the hype goes and everything. Yeah, I think Tesla might start to really come back. It's starting to move through some of these key levels for me, and it's honestly looking really good. If it can go up through 700, I think it'll be a real powerhouse again, but I think we might have some problems breaking through that once we get closer to there. But I really like Tesla though, and I think that it's good for it's really good for like a like really quick scalp type of trades, like quick day trades and stuff like that. I don't really like swinging Tesla too much. You can do it if you can get enough time with it, but just keep in mind you're definitely going to want to have some time to help you fight this this type of decay that Tesla has on these weekly options.
Sounds good. And then we have Jorge saying LMND has been recovering very well lately. Currently approaching the possible resistance at $113. Let's check it out. LMND said 113. Yeah, it definitely is recovering very well. You said resistance at 113. Yeah, I see that too. It's getting really close to that. And I think that's a great level. And I think it's already struggling at that level. It tried to break out today, intraday, got rejected. But yeah, I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if it struggled around this level for a couple days and then ended up breaking out, because with the way tech stocks are moving, I mean, they're almost all of them are breaking out.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like we're just getting breakout after breakout. So if it starts to break out, then just play it, play it by ear. Just wait for it to happen and, catch it once it finally moves up above that 113 level.
All righty. And then let's see. We have Hunter saying golden sweep AMC 57 strike puts for July 2nd. What do you think they're doing, Hunter? You think they're like cash secured puts? You think they're buying these puts? Because with the way it's moving, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me take a look at this. Give me 1 second, Tom.
You think, Sandy, you think someone would want to buy? You think anyone would want to buy that many shares at 57?
I don't know.
I have
I
no
don't know.
idea. That's a tough one, actually. July 2nd, what is that? The end of next week?
Yeah, end of next week. So it was the 57 puts for July 2nd. They are in the money. And then right when these puts came in, AMC started to fall a little bit. So I don't know. I would definitely say that they're longing these puts. Let me know what you think, Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that they're longing them too, just to, give my, input here. And it seems like that it would really, I honestly think that AMC looks like it could start to really fall off the board here. And I know people aren't going to want to hear that, but man, it's not moving well above that 60 resistance. It's having a lot of problems staying up above that. And just on the daily here, it has like lower highs going on too. It's definitely not looking good. And for the shorter term, it's worrying me quite a bit. Yeah, you might be able to play those puts pretty well, especially, if the smart money was longing these, that would be pretty smart of them, actually, I think, especially with it just failing to break out.
It'd be smart of the smart money to do that.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course,
Yeah,
right?
I'm just messing with you, Tom. So yeah, and then we have Vicky saying, let's give some love to Mike and Tom. Yeah, guys, hitting that like button really, really helps us out. We would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream and, asking great questions. We're having a great time. We have Click saying meme stock Tesla short squeeze, LOL. That's what we're going to be hearing from Wall Street Bets pretty soon.
Yeah,
I mean,
Tesla's going to be short squeezing by next week. We'll be at what's the target going to be, Mike? 10,000 a share?
I would say at least 10,000.
At least 10,000, and that's going to happen within the next year, keep in mind. So that's definitely going to have some movement. Isn't Kathy Woods' price target actually 10,000 for over the next 10 years or something?
I could have swore it was 4,000 or 3,500 over
okay,
the
yeah,
next
I think that
years.
sounds more realistic.
Yeah, something like that. But Kathy, she's done a great job in 2020, so I'm excited to see how her funds perform this year. I know they've been struggling a little bit, but a lot of stocks have, and you can't directly blame her for that. But yeah, I'm just excited to see how the ARK funds continue to do. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's excited. A great thing. I think those are great investments to pick up too. And actually, look at how ARKK is starting to recover up, like a lot of these key growth stocks are. And I'm holding a lot of ARKX personally, hoping that space sector can start to fly up, and it's starting to recover up nicely as well. So yeah, I mean, I think that both of those funds, and even ARKG for the genomics one, and some of their other funds are really good actually. And it seems like they're all starting to kind of break out right now, which is pretty fantastic actually. And it shows that she's picking up some of those better growth stocks, I think.
Yeah, and what I really like is how she's done her research on Tesla, and especially last year she took a pretty big risk going that heavy in Tesla, and it definitely paid off. So I'm happy to see that it happened for her. We have looks like Airbnb is actually breaking out for what is this, the 20th time? Let's see if it'll continue through. We also have Disney trending up, which is great. Yeah, Disney looks really solid. I love that one. WFC is popping up. Yeah, wow, Wells Fargo looks pretty good actually. Intraday, Snap chat. Like I said, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let us know what stocks you guys are watching. Twitter's popping up. Tom, do you have your eyes on anything specifically?
Man, these banks, once you brought those up, it seems like they're starting to fly. Look at Twitter. I can't believe how much Twitter is still breaking to the upside. I was still watching AMD a little earlier. It started to pull back a little bit, but it's trying to come back up to its high again right now. It kind of seems like AMD might have more potential today. Definitely having some chop right now, but looks like it's definitely on a run, on a momentum type of breakout here. Definitely really having a great move. And honestly, just all these tech stocks are the best. QQQ still hitting all-time highs, and I think this one has more potential for today as well to keep rising. And it's nice to see all these stocks breaking out. I really like, my favorite one has been AMD so far today, but just going forward, the QQQ looks like it can continue its breakout as well. I know Target's been doing great the past couple days. They kind of gapped up today as well. They might start to be a pretty good little bit of an intraday dip buy or something now if they can start to retest that 240 resistance up there. But they had a pretty big gap up in pre-market today.
All right, and then we have Matthew asking about DAX, so the Germany ETF. It looks good. We have just equities in general popping up, which is awesome to see. It's bouncing off that support at 34, and then it has a little bit of resistance at you can say at 35, and then even a little bit more at. See, it's so illiquid when you look at this thing intraday, so it's hard to get good support and resistance levels intraday on it. Yeah, you can say like 35 for resistance. Just like I said, stocks in general are popping up.
Yeah, and this one's going to be pretty hard to trade, I think, on like an intraday basis, unless you're. I think if you get shares and you hold it, I think that's one of the better ways to look at this. And I don't know like the German economy or anything like that, so it could definitely go either way, I think. But hopefully, it starts to do pretty good with the pandemic. Obviously getting back to normal, and with Europe kind of like reopening and stuff like that. But I will say on the daily level, it's recovered up pretty nice.
All righty. Well, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks or anything you're watching, anything you want to talk about for today? I know we have a pretty good day so far. QQQ popping up. We have it's really popping up, I should say. Chewy popping up. Basically anything with tech, and I know Disney's not necessarily a tech stock, but it looks pretty good too. Tesla is definitely what everyone's going to be talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Tesla's going to be really big today. That's honestly one of the biggest ones to keep watching. It's still breaking out. Even like right now, it's still trying to keep going. Honestly, on the 15-minute chart, it looks so good to me. I think it could definitely continue up. It finally broke that key like blue trend line that Tesla has just been failing to break above for like the past like couple of weeks or the past couple months. And it's just nice to see. And a lot of times these stocks, when they get to these resistances and stuff, they kind of slow down. They get a little bit slow and choppy whenever they're breaking out. But Tesla was just awesome the way it just continued its ascent to the upside, and it's still going right now. And that's what I love about Tesla, is that whenever it runs, it really runs. It doesn't really play around too much. Like, it generally starts to break out, and I'm just really glad to see that. I think it will start to recover here over the next like few months, and who knows, it might have a lot of chop here around 700 or up here around like the 730 resistance or something like that. But I think that for the longer run, it will start to do better, especially with those profits later on this year. I'm still watching like Palantir, Zoom, and a couple of those other ones, and a lot of these stocks are starting to break out, but it seems like some of these are starting to slow down, especially like Palantir today, starting to pull back and actually dip quite a bit, back down to like those highs of yesterday. It's still not looking too bad, but with some of them breaking out, it just sucks to see like Palantir and a couple of the other ones kind of like lagging behind. And I just wanted to bring that up because it's always easy to like look at what's going up, but it just sucks to see Palantir kind of pulling back this way.
All righty. And then with the last comment, we have Matthew saying, I am holding NASDAQ CFD long from 14,123. Any suggestions? So, I like the way tech is moving right now. You're already up a decent amount, so I think it's always smart to lock in profits. Maybe exit like a portion of it if you're open to that. I think that would be the best way to go, to slowly like average out. Obviously, no one will ever be able to catch the top, especially with an index like the NASDAQ. So Overall, I like the transition into tech. I'm not too worried about it reversing, anytime soon. But it never hurts to manage your risk. So personally, I would just start to slowly average out. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. But thank you guys so much for watching today's stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. All right, one more one more analysis for Vicky. TTD last minute. Let's check it out. TTD, it's up around 13%. Looks really solid. Has a ton of momentum. They had that split recently. Looking at it intraday, one thing I don't like is that while it does have a ton of momentum and it is up 13%, it's up a lot. So if you're going to be buying calls now, you're going to be paying a huge premium for these. The call options that expire next week are literally up 2,000%, and IV is getting higher on these specific options. So I think it'd be pretty dangerous to trade them at this point. If you wanted to get in for like a longer term hold, I think that's decent. But for day trade, I think the move's already over.
Yeah, I think so too. It's up 12%. And the big thing is that there's a lot of resistance here around $74, $75 also. And are we going to have this continued momentum for tomorrow, even though we're already up 12% today? I don't know. A lot of times in the past, after TTD, you look at in the past here, all the way back on like November of 2020, you can see how TTD had a huge green candle and then had a couple red days right after that before continuing up. Happened again where they had another big like 10% day, kind of like they're having right now, and then they ended up having a couple red days after that. But there was some scenarios where they kept going up, but I would think heading into these resistances and stuff that it will start to slow down.
Alrighty, so thank you guys so much for joining this stream and asking great comments. We really appreciate it, and we hope you guys have an amazing day.